25 years, a quarter of a century of indelible moments and stories as CBS Sports has broadcast with great pride the NCAA basketball tournament. I think every championship, every tournament has been special. It's had its own personality, its own uniqueness, its own story to tell. And what a great privilege it has been to try to tell that story to you.
Will Cinderella arrive? They win it! Oh, what a shot!
Perhaps the biggest upset of the tournament. Dreams to come true. Make room for a new tournament day. Can you believe it?
Tournament is all about incredible journey. Clippers down 6.
What makes the NCAA tournament what it is? Coach Dean Smith would say, I could never beat Jack Nicklaus for 18 holes. But he also said that on the given day, at that given time and moment, he may be able to beat Jack one hole. Enter Princeton.
UCLA a 4 seed, Princeton a 13th seed.
UCLA was the defending national champ. Talented players, guys that could get up and down the floor in spectacular fashion. Obviously, it's UCLA, so their pedigree was at a different level. And here's Princeton. I mean, Ivy League guys. They have this old coach on the sideline, Pete Carril, who's been there forever, who's wearing down a little bit, who's still trying to come up with that one big upset. But when that game got going, out of nowhere, they start hitting shots that you just wouldn't think that they would hit. They were hitting shots from the wing. They were hitting shots from the baseline. Guys were hitting threes that would never hit threes. It was almost like every player that stepped on the court for Princeton played the best game of their career. And it was just a shocking thing to see.
UCLA got all kinds of trouble with this Princeton team.
Defending national champions, you have them on the ropes.
Pete Carril and the Princeton Tigers, they got a chance to win it.
Everybody in the building was standing up. UCLA was a little bit nervous. They know what's coming. It was either going to be a backdoor cut or a three-point shot. They just didn't know where it was coming from.
Princeton with the basketball.
And then all of a sudden, boom.
Under 10, back door.
The pass was perfect. And I mean, the joy in that building was something that I'll never forget.
The Princeton Tigers have pulled the upset. They beat the defending national champions.
That was the moment.
Unbelievable.
For me, that was my first year. And I said to myself when that game was over, wow, if the rest of the years are like this, I think I'm gonna like this job.
When people ask me why I do what I do, I say Villanova 66, Georgetown 64. Georgetown was Secretariat at the time. They were the mighty Georgetown, and Patrick Ewing was the dominant player in college basketball. No one had any expectations for Villanova, and Rollie Massimino told his team, you will have to play a perfect game.
Pinckney gets inside.
And they darn near did.
Oh, he is filling it up.
There they were. They believed in themselves. They knew they could win a title, and they did.
There will be no dynasty. Villanova has done it.
It was truly stunning to be courtside.
One of the greatest upsets in the history of the NCAA.
I actually thought that that was all that sports could be, and that's what the greatness of March Madness is. You do get to the Final Four, and you do have a chance.
One of the great stories in college basketball in the early 90s was that of Bo Kimble and Hank Gathers. They were tremendous shooters. They were racking up all kinds of points. It was a run-and-gun offense. They were a force to be reckoned with in the NCAA basketball tournament. We decided to do a story on Loyola Marymount. We did the interviews, talked to the coach and talked to the players, and we came back. And the night before the story was to air on the morning show, my producer called me at home. And he told me that one of the stars of the team, Hank Gathers, had collapsed during a game. And I said, "Oh, wow, is it serious?" And he said, "Greg, he's dead." When tournament time came around, I had the chance to do Loyola Marymount. And Bo Kimball, who was a big-time scorer for the school, made it well known that when it came time for him to shoot his first free throw,
Kimball will go to the line.
he was going to shoot it left-handed in honor of Hank Gathers. He was fouled, he went to the free throw line, and he shot the free throw and made it. I thought it was one of the more dramatic moments I've ever seen. This Loyola Marymount team seemed to draw strength from the fact that they were playing for Hank Gathers. They played like wildfire and went on an incredible run before they were finally eliminated. It was something to see, to watch this Loyola Marymount team try to make up for the loss of a close friend.
The Moment. We'll be right back.
CBS Sports presents The Moment, 25 years. Sponsored by Coca-Cola, official fan refreshment of the NCAA. Singular, raising the bar. And by Pontiac. Today's your last chance to vote for the Pontiac game-changing performance at ncaasports.com/Pontiac.
Now, a look back at some of the most memorable buzzer-beater stories of the last 25 years on CBS Sports.
Final 10 seconds. 8 seconds to go. A second down to 3. No timeout. Unbelievable. It's over. Here it goes for the win. The basket is gone. And it's over.
For the win. Oh, my goodness.
I've been lucky to work in this business in excess of 40 years. And in the course of more than 4 decades, I think the greatest game I ever saw was Duke, Kentucky, late March in 1992. The drama was ever present. The quality of play was so outstanding that you had a sense you were being witness to something very special.
Woods.
They trailed by 1, but Duke was going to have the ball for one last time. Grant Hill, whose parents, Calvin and Janet, were very good friends of mine, was going to throw the inbounds pass. I'd known Grant since he was this high, and Janet said to me, my son is going to grow into a pretty good basketball player. As they broke the huddle and they were coming out, all of this was just kind of going through my mind that I'd watch this kid grow up.
Will the dream die here for Duke? There's the pass to Leitner. Puts it up.
And Duke had won, in my mind, the greatest basketball game ever played. Obviously, Christian Leitner was the hero of the ball game, but for me, the moment is always going to include the perfect pass from Grant Hill. He's a big part of my memory of that great moment.
How long is 1 second? Just think of it. 1 second when you need to score a basket to win a game. That's what UConn faced when they went against Clemson in the Eastern Regional Semifinals back in 1990. Clemson took the lead by 1 second remaining, UConn ball. Now you would think with 1 second to go, going the length of the court, there's no way. But there is a play in basketball called home run. Everybody uses it, everybody knows about it, and the odds are slim, but it can be done.
Here goes the long pass with 1 second to go. The shot. Yes! The shot's gonna go. The shot by Tate George wins it.
Exhilaration all over the floor at the Meadowlands. In fact, Jim Calhoun didn't know where to run. Kind of reminded you a lot of the late Jim Valvano for a moment.
Connecticut will advance to the regional final on an amazing shot.
But that great moment for them turned into despair. You talk about reversal of fortune. So here we are 2 days later, UConn playing Duke in the Eastern Regional Championship. What happens? Christian Leitner, you remember him, hits the game-winning basket in overtime.
And Duke wins.
Those great moments can be reversed from day to day. Totally unpredictable. That's why they play the game.
I think one thing you learn at the NCAA tournament is that the moments often happen at the most unexpected times in the most unexpected places. Valparaiso was this tiny school from Northwest Indiana. They'd been in the NCAA tournament several times, but had never won a game. And they had on their team a player that really should have been playing for a bigger school. Bryce Drew was Mr. Basketball in the state of Indiana. Most expected he'd end up playing for a national power program, but Bryce Drew decided to play at tiny Valparaiso for his dad.
They have an All-American player in Bryce Drew.
And the big payoff came 4 years later in Oklahoma City. Well, that day, it was the 13 seed Valpo, the 4 seed Ole Miss.
Oh, look at that great play!
So here is Valpo with 2.5 seconds left, 94 feet away, down by 2.
Valparaiso set up their last hope.
Well, it turned out Valpo had a play for this moment. Homer Drew had worked on this play all year long.
It's to Jenkins with Drew for the win! Good! He did it! Bryce Drew did it!
And as the ball swished through, Valpo was Cinderella.
An absolute miracle!
And I so clearly remember the father and son hugging
It's not coach and player there, it's father and son.
in this most incredible moment where the son's shot had given the father and their school their first ever NCAA win. It was the moment I will never forget in March Madness.
Our look back at the last 25 years continues in a moment.
Hi, I'm Greg Gumbel in Indianapolis. Coming up, it's the Final Four show. That's followed by the national semifinals at 6 Eastern. George Mason against Florida, followed by LSU against UCLA. Join us for it right now. It's back to the moment.
It's been an unforgettable 25 years on CBS Sports for the man on the sidelines they call Coach.
We're not going to see any quickness. Totally in control.
This changes the whole game. That's a remarkable play. National champion.
Never let go of the dream.
Milestones a new team in college basketball.
Well, the moments of March Madness that I recall most are those of high and low emotion. That's what Madness is all about. And in 2002, it was encapsulated by Indiana coach Mike Davis. The scene was Rupp Arena in Lexington, Kentucky. Indiana, the underdog against #1 in the nation, the Duke Blue Devils.
He fires and hits. Big shot.
Indiana, a gutsy effort, had a 4-point advantage, only seconds remaining when, oh my, an egregious error.
Williams looks for the 3.
Oh, he scores and he's fouled.
And the reaction of Mike Davis.
A chance to tie. Unbelievable.
Mike Davis hiding his face in disbelief and agony. Jason Williams, an outstanding free throw shooter, at the line. He's made the 3-point play, and now can he pull off a 4-point play in the final seconds?
Duke may be back in. He misses the free throw. Boozer gets the rebound. Tipped again. Rebounded by Indiana. The game is over.
And so Mike Davis, the Indiana coach, personified what madness is all about. The total range from agony and disappointment to the ecstasy of victory as Indiana pulled off the upset. And in his moment, running on the Rupp Arena court and pointing to the administration of the Hoosiers. Oh my! This moment was Mike Davis's confirmation as he took Indiana all the way to the national finals.
Well, it's been amazing when you start thinking about 25 years. Each year, there seems to be a new chapter and a new story. Nobody really can predict what's going to happen in the tournament. I remember Jim Valvano in the practice sessions at the Final Four day. People were asking Jim, do you think you can win it? And he said, win it? Hell, I'm just happy to be here. You didn't feel that NC State had any chance to win the ball game at all because everybody had seen the incredible semifinal game between Houston and Louisville. Jim Valvano just kind of wiped everything off the board and said, hell, let's just go play them. We've got a better team. We can beat them.
I'm surprised North Carolina State has hung in there as well as they have.
With 10 minutes or so to go in the ball game, as a so-called analyst, I felt that NC State had nothing left.
Valvano and North Carolina State's got to regroup.
But State would not be denied for that last possession.
Wittenberg, that's a long ways.
And then, of course, you have the marathon run from Jim Valvano. That was obviously one of the great upsets of all time, certainly one of the most memorable moments in the history of the NCAA tournament.
But you can't talk about 25 years of NCAA tournament action on CBS without including Al McGuire. I remember meeting the man they called Coach back in the 70s when I was in Milwaukee to do an interview with him en route to their 1977 Marquette National Championship. Not long after that national championship at Marquette, Coach Al McGuire retired, surprising a lot of folks. He was only 48. Whether he had an idea about television or not, I don't know. But he sure went into it in a big way, and along with Billy Packer and Dick Enberg, became one of the most successful broadcasting teams ever. Over the years of the NCAA tournament coverage, Al and I witnessed some of the greatest moments on the court.
Henley going the distance. It's a ball shot. It's good. Overtime.
One thing about Al is you'd hear a lot of expressions used that no other announcer had ever used before.
Holy mackerel! Holy mackerel!
I remember in 1996, Syracuse playing Kansas. A big upset by the Orangemen produced their victory and sent them to the Final Four. So the Syracuse fans are going crazy. The band is playing. The kids are jumping up and down. After all, they know they're going to the big dance. The next thing I know, I look over at Al, and he's doing the big dance. Not so well either. He was kind of looked more like Gumby, but he was having plenty of fun out there. It was pure joy.
Don't lose our coach!
That was the all-time greatest Al McGuire moment, and I'll remember it forever. Hard to believe that just 5 years after that great Al McGuire moment, we lost this man to leukemia at the age of 72 in January of 2001.
He was a legend. He never tried to become this superstar. He just was a natural superstar.
He discouraged us from always doing the same thing, routine week after week.
Mostly he was a lot of fun. You never had a dull moment with Al McGuire.
One of the great people that has ever been involved in intercollegiate basketball. A very, very special person.
Anybody who is a friend of Al McGuire's has that feeling that it was a privilege to know him and to be his friend. I'm certainly among them.
If you're looking for a go-to guy, there he is.
Think back to where it all began in New Orleans in 1982. It was really the confluence of two things. How CBS Sports was going to present this treasured event, the NCAA basketball tournament, and by chance intersecting on that stage with a freshman from North Carolina.
It was a remarkable field in that Final Four. There were 5 future basketball Hall of Famers. We had the likes of Patrick Ewing, Clyde the Glide Drexler, along with Hakeem Olajuwon, and James Worthy for North Carolina. But there was also a skinny freshman.
Freshman from Wilmington, North Carolina, Michael Jordan.
We really didn't realize coming into that how good a player Michael Jordan was going to be.
Down to Jordan, yes!
He was shy, he didn't say very much.
It's amazing what the freshman can do.
And you kind of got the impression that he was just glad to be part of this Tar Heel tradition. The championship was played in the Dome for the first time. It was a great struggle, back and forth, close all the way.
There it is! And Ewing's all over the place.
North Carolina fought back.
The momentum's changing. Look out!
And they were down 62-61 with 57 seconds left to go in the game. And then some special history was ready to unfold.
The time, 18. Shot, Jordan! Michael Jordan!
But then Georgetown had a chance. Fred Brown, the sophomore point guard, came back up to the other end of the floor.
Here's Sleepy Floyd. Look. Oh, he threw it to the wrong man! He threw it to Worthy!
And later, Fred Brown said, if I had had a rubber band on that ball, I would have yanked it back.
North Carolina has won the 1982 NCAA championship.
So the moment that everybody remembers was a shot that Michael Jordan hit to win the national championship. But you know, the most poignant moment for me was when Fred Brown, who had turned the ball over, walked off of the floor, and his coach, John Thompson, tried to in some way console him. He says, "You've won a lot more games for me than you'll ever lose." And that is the moment.
In 1987, CBS bought the rights to a piece of music called One Shining Moment. It's become the anthem for the tournament, as much a part of the Final Four as the tearing down of the Nets. The player, though, who most identified with what that song really meant was Mateen Cleaves of Michigan State.
Number 12, Mateen Cleaves.
In 1998, he was a sophomore, and I saw him at the Big Ten tournament. He came over and said to me that someday I want them to play that song for us. He said, "I've been dreaming of it since I was a little boy." So in 2000, as a senior, Mateen Cleaves takes his team back to the Final Four. So here it is, the title game, and things are going as planned, and all of a sudden on a breakaway,
He hurt himself, Jimmy. He really hurt himself.
And he's dragging himself to the bench.
Mateen Cleaves hobbling off the floor with a bad ankle.
Stunning and what could be devastating injury to the Spartans' cause.
We were shooting Cleaves backstage. It was painful to even see him walk. He's walking it off. He's trying to find any kind of way to be able to re-enter the competition.
When he gets back out here, this arena is going to go wild.
We followed him out into the arena.
Here comes Cleaves.
It was like a heavyweight champion coming out to enter the ring. He came back on that floor.
He's playing on one leg right now. He can hardly walk.
And led his team to the championship.
One of the greatest leaders the game of college basketball has ever seen.
And that Monday night, with tears flowing, Mateen Cleaves stood on the floor and watched as they play One Shining Moment. Very powerful moment.